Following the events of Avengers Endgame, the MCU has ended the old Infinity Saga and have already begun to embrace a brand new era. With the Avengers gone, especially with Tony Stark, Natasha Romanoff, and the retirement of Steve Rogers, the world is gripped with a very important question up in their mind. Who will carry the mantle of Captain America? That question became the centerpiece of the Disney Plus series I'm about to tell you guys. And what started off as pretty slow would end up becoming one of my favorite Disney Plus series by Marvel. And in turn, a great profitable one. What's going on, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 63rd episode of The Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're taking a look at The Falcon, the Winter Soldier, a 6-episode series that explores friendship, responsibility, legacy, and what Captain America's symbol means to a world without Steve Rogers. So I'm pretty excited to break down this series for you guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I take you deep dive into The Falcon, the Winter Soldier. Following Endgame, Marvel Studios want to explore what happened to its heroes after the Infinity Saga. While WandaVision focused heavily on Wanda Maximoff's grief after losing Vision, The Falcon Winter Soldier explored the two heroes who had spent years living in Steve Rogers' shadow, that being Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes. Now, after a delay due to the pandemic, the show eventually got its release in March of 2021. And it became one of the most important chapters in Marvel's post-game Endgame era. So leading this series from the start is none other than Sam Wilson, who is played by actor Anthony Mackie. Now, Sam Wilson has been one of my favorite supporting characters in the MCU, but this series finally gives him the spotlight he deserves. And Mackie absolutely delivers every moment he's in. Sam Wilson doesn't simply want to become Captain America. He's unsure he should be the next Captain America, because that shield represents Steve Rogers. Sam worries that taking it might mean pretending someone he's not. And that's a fascinating concept I find pretty interesting for this series. Sam has to figure out what Captain America means to him alone. And another standout performance is Bucky Barnes, who is played once again by actor Sebastian Stan. After decades of being manipulated as a weapon, Bucky is trying to live a normal life, and it's not easy. And he carries so much guilt over everything he did under Hydra's control. And I gotta appreciate the performance that Sebastian Stan does. He's no longer just a mysterious Winter Soldier. He's just a person trying to figure out how to live in a normal societal life, even without his best friend Steve Rogers around anymore. I really like how the concept of this character is made. It's just really great to see how we get to see development of these two actors. Speaking of which, the duo friendship between Bucky and Sam is pretty hilarious. They're constantly arguing, annoying each other, and sometimes they don't agree. But deep down, they respect each other, and their chemistry feels completely different from everyone else in the MCU. Their chemistry is like two different people who somehow become best friends. The therapy scene that they have to sit together about their problems is one of my favorite scenes in the entire show itself. But it also shows the emotional bandage these characters are carrying on their backs, without Steve Rogers around. Now let's talk about one of the most controversial characters in the entire series, when I first started watching it back then. And that's John Walker, who is played by actor Wyatt Russell. When Steve Rogers is given to Walker by the US government, Sam and Bucky aren't exactly thrilled, and neither was many viewers. But I really think what makes Walker pretty interesting, he's not just simply a cartoon villain, he's just a soldier who genuinely believes he can live up to Captain America's legacy. The problem? He is not basically Steve Rogers, and the pressure eventually becomes super overwhelming for him. And I gotta give the props how Wyatt Russell does great acting, especially when he butt heads to the two helpers of Captain America. Bro doesn't deserve this much hate, and I just gotta appreciate how Wyatt Russell does great acting. Even after this show, he gets a huge chance to sign in Thunderbolts, which I will do that in a future video soon. Now, the main antagonists of this show are the Flag Smashers, who are led by Carly Morgenthau. Now, she's played brilliantly by actress Erin Kellyman. Now, their goal is to create a world without borders, and their ideology comes from the chaos caused by the blip many years later. Millions of people disappeared for 5 years, and then suddenly came back. The world changed, and the Flag Smashers just thinks the world was much better without when half the people were Thanos snapped. And the Flag Smashers believe that the government previously addressed, like in the problems that were created by the event itself. And it doesn't portray every member of the group as pure evil. Instead, it asks this pretty interesting question: why might people become radicalized in the very first place? Like how social groups are, like out in the community. And then, out of the blue, a familiar face returns, and that's Halmut Zemo, who came back after a couple years since Captain America: Civil War, and he's played brilliantly once again by actor Daniel Bruhl. Now, honestly, he was pretty fantastic because Bro was like an intelligent villain and he could cause the Avengers to break apart. But this time, he is incredibly funny. His chemistry with Sam and Bucky is fantastic. And I really can't, and this would be a video where I talk about that famous Zemo dance. I just laughed so hard of it, I just like, man, I gotta recreate that when I go to a club one day. It's just so funny, like how he does it. Now, another interesting character that was introduced in this show, and who will later become a very popular character, and that's Valentina Algira Valentine. Or just Valentina, I'm put that in short. Now, she is played by actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Now, she arrives in Agenda on her own. We don't really know what's going on with her or who is she supposed to be. But, as you'll see in later future episodes, you'll see what she eventually becomes. Just hang in there, guys. I'll get to that Thunderbolts episode pretty soon. Just you wait. Now, the action in the Falcon Winter Soldier is actually pretty fantastic. I love the action, the flight sequences, and the aerial combat looks so incredible. And when the finale gave us something we really expected, is what Marvel comic fans and some recent ones have been looking forward to like a long time. Sam Wilson officially becoming the Captain America we know and love. Like we see like in the recent Marvel comics where he is Captain America, like for the Secret Wars thing. That's what really makes the series pretty good. Now, when I saw that happening from my perspective, it just like really shows how like Sam Wilson's been building up. He finally accepts the shield and he doesn't try to become Steve Rogers. He just becomes his own self. Now, I love the technology and the suit that they use because it looks exactly taken from like the comics. If you guys like look up the classic Sam Wilson Captain America costume, you'll be like, oh, that looks just like that, Nate. And yeah, that's exactly right. Marvel totally nailed the costume design for this, and I really wish we got more of that costume like in future stuff. But, as always, we did not. Now, I'm almost done with this video, but let me just give you one last character to talk about. Another very important character in this entire show, and the one who talked with Sam Wilson, is Isaiah Bradley, who is played by actor Carl Lumbly. Now, Isaiah was a black super soldier whose story was hidden from history as this black version of Captain America. His experience forces Sam to question what the Captain America symbol means to different people, and also of different genders and races, how they are supposed to handle this being a hero. And this gives the series a much deeper meaning. Captain America isn't just simply a costume, it's an ideal, and Sam has to decide what ideal should represent going forward. And when these two actors are on screen together, I really appreciate the strong acting they have. It's just so good for what I see. It just really shows how like Marvel is really to push stuff like that into their shows. Now for my personal thoughts on the series. I overall enjoyed it. The entire cast itself is spot on, and it is it was really great to see like Sam Wilson become Captain America. Like it's fantastic that like in the post Endgame MCU. But I think the series has a problem. The pacing is some little is a little all over the place, and 6 episodes is just not enough. I wish there were more. But the character development makes the show worth watching. So, as we're continuing down the road to Avengers Doomsday, this series is extremely important to watch. Sam Wilson's no longer just a Falcon. He is officially Captain America, and that's what makes him one of the most important heroes in the next generation of Marvel. The series also establishes Valentina's larger agenda and continues to develop in the political side of the MCU, which I will explain in my Thunderbolts video that's coming soon. So if Sam is eventually called upon to lead Earth's mightiest heroes and to form a new Avengers team, he is going to have to take the responsibility because he is officially the new Captain America, whether he just wants to be it or like not. And that's what I really enjoy about this show. But in conclusion, The Falcon Winter Soldier is ultimately a story built on legacy. It shows how, like, even if someone passes down the torch to someone, you gotta respect that honor. And I really enjoyed of how, like, this series is. But overall, it was pretty great. And yeah, that's all I gotta say for The Falcon Winter Soldier. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you give a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below. What do you think of the show itself, and what do you overall like about it? Anywho, thanks for watching. Remember, my videos are just the thoughts on the movies and TV shows I watch on a daily basis. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Have a wonderful day. See you guys later, and be good people.